Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Time for yet another team-specific 2017 NFL mock draft, and today we're looking at the Oakland Raiders mock draft on your screen in 3, 2, 1. So there you go. That was the 2017 NFL mock draft for the Oakland Raiders. Now, I know Raider fans are going to have some problems with some of the selections that I have, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Round 1, I have the Raiders taking a cornerback in Quincy Wilson out of Florida. Now, some Raider fans will contest that, hey, we don't really need a cornerback. We have David Emerson, who's our current number 1 cornerback. We have Sean Smith, who's our number 2. He did pretty good at the end of last season. And we have TJ Carey as our slot guy. But I've heard Jack Del Rio talking about this secondary, talking about the Raiders secondary, and saying we need to upgrade this. We need to look to upgrade the cornerback position. And David Emerson, although I like him, and he signed, I want to say, a 4-year, maybe $29 million deal either this year or last year, I think you could still seek to upgrade this position, right? Because your defense really wasn't good last year. Why? The defensive line had issues, and the cornerbacks and the secondaries had issues as well. I look at the cornerback position. I want to upgrade that. I upgraded with Quincy Wilson. I think this is going to be a good pick for the Raiders if they take a cornerback in round 1. Yes, you would love to take an inside linebacker, a middle linebacker. One's not available value. Unless if Reuben Foster falls all the way down the board, one is not going to be available that is even close to value. Perhaps you reach for a Jerry Davis out of Florida, or perhaps you reach for a Raekwon McMillan, but I don't think you have to do that because in round 2, who do I have you taking? Raekwon McMillan. Okay, so you need an inside linebacker, and you get one in Raekwon McMillan out of Ohio State. He would be a nice inside middle linebacker for you. Put him next to Perry Riley, and then now you have a nice inside linebacking duo. And Malcolm Smith did leave in free agency, so this is definitely a need for the Oakland Raiders. And he wasn't that great anyway. I thought he was a disappointment for Oakland. You get an inside linebacker in Raekwon McMillan, and you're upgrading this defense. Let's upgrade it again. In round 3, as we take defensive tackle, Montravius Adams out of Auburn. Now, I know what some Raider fans are going to say. We took Jihad Ward out of Illinois last year, and did he play much? I don't think he played much. I didn't notice him much. He didn't make an impact to me. I know you still have Mario Edwards, who kind of plays defensive end, kind of plays defensive tackle, kind of moves back and forth. In your base 4 defensive lineman sets, he's mainly outside, and then he can move inside as well. To me, he's not that impressive, and you can still seek to upgrade your defensive tackle position. I like Dan Williams as your nose tackle, as your run-stuffing 0-1 technique defensive tackle, but to me, you still need 1 or 2 more defensive tackles next to him of really good value, or maybe Jihad Ward does improve or whatnot, but to me, this position still needs to be solidified. And yes, I did consider running back here, and I also considered in round 1 with Alvin Kamara or round 2 with the Dante Foreman. But to me, hold off until round 3 or day 3 before you take a running back, and in round 3, take a defensive lineman. And again, fix your defense. That's the reason why. Well, that's not really the reason why. The reason why you couldn't get to the Super Bowl was because Derek Carr got injured, and then who knows what would have happened. But that's why you had some struggles from time to time, and you know, you could seek to upgrade your defense. I mean, you don't need to keep getting into these ridiculous shootouts that you can get into. You can upgrade this defense to where whenever you're in a tightly contested bout against Kansas City, your defense won't allow a freaking point. Whenever you're going up against San Diego and Phillip Rivers is trying to outscore you, he can't, because he just got sacked by Montravius Adams. He just got picked off by Quincy Wilson. He just got sacked by Raekwon McMillan. You know, so seek to upgrade your defense first, to me, if I'm the Oakland Raiders. We move on to day 3, round 4. We have the Raiders taking running back Samaje Perine out of Oklahoma. This is the guy that you want, okay? He would be a great fit for Oakland. He gives them a nice juxtaposition to what they currently have in Jalen Richard and their other guy. I want to say, what's his name? Something Washington, Dwayne Washington. I'm not really sure what his name is, but they're both kind of receiving backs. You get here Samaje Perine, who is a power back, a guy that can handle a huge load, and you have a nice mixture there. You can give Perine 15 carries a game, give Rashard maybe like 5, and then have him catch a lot of stuff out of the backfield, and same goes for the other guy that I can't remember right now. And you have a nice running back fixture here for the Oakland Raiders. Round 5. Wide receiver Shelton Gibson of West Virginia. Do you really need a wide receiver? I think so. Seth Roberts isn't a great number 3. I thought he had a good 2015 season. His 2016 season to me wasn't great. Had about 397 yards, 5 touchdowns. I like the touchdowns, not the yardage. You can seek to upgrade your wide receiver position. And I know you just signed, what's his name, Cordero Patterson of Minnesota Vikings, formerly now of the Minnesota Vikings. He's not a great receiver. We know that. He's really not going to contribute anything in terms of the receiving game. Don't expect him to, except for the occasional maybe end around or something like that. So seek to upgrade your wide receiver position. Round 5, why not? You know, you can get a guy in Shelton Gibson who could be a nice fit for your offense, give you guys something different than you currently have offensively. Round 6, offensive tackle in Justin Senior out of Mississippi State, and I considered putting an offensive tackle for the Raiders in round 1, 2, 3, or 4, but I decided to hold off on that. Okay, you look at the current right tackle situation. Austin Howard is supposed to start. He's not a great player. Menelik Watson, I want to say left in free agency, but I'm not sure on that, but I'm pretty sure he did because he had almost no reason to resign. So you don't love your right tackle situation, and you can seek to upgrade that early. But to me, again, the Raiders need to focus on their defense, need to focus on upgrading that first before they do all this offensive nonsense. So I have them taking offensive tackle in the 6th, and perhaps he develops into being a starting offensive tackle in the future. We look at the 7th round picks now. The first one, free safety Fish Smithson out of Kansas. Perhaps he can take over for Reggie Nelson when he retires. Hopefully he can develop Fish, and he could do that for you in the future. And then the last pick, tight end Blake Jarwin out of Oklahoma State. You signed Jared Cook in free agency. Good, but he's only like a 1-year guy. Like, he just keeps hopping teams now at this point. I'm not sure that's going to stop, and I'm pretty sure he signed a 1-year deal with you, so I wouldn't put too much stock into him. And then behind him, you did have, or you still have, Clive Walford, formerly of the Miami Hurricanes. He hasn't been that impressive in the NFL. I've been very disappointed with his career. You can seek to upgrade your tight end position, and even if both of those guys are good, right, you still have a number 3 tight end need to me. You fill it with Blake Jarwin out of Oklahoma State. The Oakland Raiders. This is a roster that I really like how it's forming, really like how it's developing. They need to upgrade defensively. Again, the first 3 picks, defense to me. That's the move. I know you really want a running back. You want to take Alvin Kamara round 1, and I would understand that. I wouldn't hate that. I'd probably give that pick like a B+. You want to take Dante Foreman round 2. You even want to upgrade your right tackle position. To me, defense, especially in this draft, when you look at all these cornerbacks in the first 3 rounds that I really love, if you can grab one there, you know, put him next to Sean Smith, put him next to David Emerson, now you could have a nice group. Think about the Denver Broncos. They took a cornerback in round 1 of, I want to say, the 2012 or maybe the 2013-14 NFL draft. It was probably 2014 when they took Bradley Roby out of Ohio State, despite having or ending up having Aqib Talib and Chris Harris. What was the end result? They had a tremendous secondary where you cannot throw the ball on them. Even if you have 2 good corners that you think you have in David Emerson and Sean Smith, you can still take a corner and then become the Denver Broncos. And if anyone knows how hard it is to throw on the Denver Broncos, you guys as Oakland Raiders fans should know. That's why they went all the way to the Super Bowl and won the damn thing. So I don't want to hear that, oh, we shouldn't take a corner because we have Sean Smith and David Emerson. The Denver Broncos had freaking Aqib Talib and Chris Harris, and they still had a cornerback, and they drafted a cornerback in Bradley Roby, who ended up being a great slot cornerback, and no one could throw the ball on them. I think this is a great route for the Oakland Raiders. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Oakland Raiders 2017 NFL Draft. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. And I'm out. Peace.